Brandon Cutler here from AEW, and I hope you guys have an awesome podcast with the MonsterCast.
What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful here. You're watching the MonsterCast with Jack and Ryan. A big shout out to those fellas. Good people. Check them out.
Here's your host of the MonsterCast, the Straight Edge Monster, Jack and Ryan.
What did you think of the new look AEW before we get into the last couple weeks of Dynamite? I have been on record saying I'm not a huge fan of the red and blue. And then, of course, you have people like, oh, it's just two colors. It doesn't mean they're WWE. But it does, though. But it does. There is a connection. Like, when you have SmackDown and Raw that have been around for fucking 30-plus years and 20-plus years, that matters to me. Like, that's literally when they brought out the promo, that's the first thing I thought. I was like, man, that's really
their original shit was black and gold, and that was NXT forever too. So we're gonna complain about that. Like,
see, they call it black and gold, but it really was black and yellow. When AEW came out, that was different. It did look different, and the black and gold, I still think, is the better look. The all white logo is not really popping out for me either. The set and stuff, I don't have a problem with the set and stuff. I was never a huge fan.
The screen set was great.
I do like a lot of people hated that they got rid of the double tunnel, but there were so many people that used to hate on the double tunnel in TNA and thought it made no sense. And now you're mad that the double tunnel
have to go out a different door.
Yeah.
It's like
they were really right behind each other. Why wouldn't they be fucking fighting each other in the back? I get the double tunnel thing from a logical standpoint, right? From a kayfabe standpoint, I get it.
The bad guys stay in one locker room.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I do like the way that Wrestle Kingdom had their shit set up. They come out, and when the match is over, they left out the other way. There was another ramp.
Yeah.
And they just bounced. And I was like, oh, that's fucking kind of badass. And you don't have to walk to the back and get in everybody else's way. You just walk out. I thought that was pretty cool. I think they should do something like that. I mean, that takes away seats, obviously.
Takes away seats,
but, yeah. But, what do you think about the new set and stuff like that? Because they did hire the guy from WWE, right? So one of the dudes that was working with, he was going to take over Kevin Dunn's position if he ever left or whatever. He was like the second in command, the coach in waiting type deal, but he ends up leaving. He gets hired by AEW. So, thoughts on the initial thing that he's doing with the new year?
I don't mind the red and blue thing as much as you do. I think it looks good. I'm a big fan of the screen setup. The universal entrance is fine for me. The tunnels were okay, but then it started to break the fourth wall a little bit. Like, even Danielson at one point said, you didn't think I was going to, when he was teasing the Claudio debut, he's like, oh, you didn't think I was going to tell you today, did you? You saw what tunnel I came out of. So that kind of stuff, like, it's funny, but at a certain point you start to strain some of the suspension of disbelief. Like, who the fuck cares what tunnel you walk out? Because I'm mean, I'm going to go out the other tunnel when I leave, and I'm like so beat up, but I still remember which tunnel I'm supposed to leave out of. Like, it's stupid. So yeah, I don't mind them getting rid of that. I think the screen setup is great. They could do a lot of stuff with that. A lot of the entrances last week, because they had such a huge screen setup, they were able to do so much stuff with it. And also, when somebody's a champion, they put the belt up on the big center screen in the back and then still have their normal shit on the outside. I think that's cool. Yeah, I like it. I kind of wish, and maybe this is like a nostalgia thing and wouldn't work today, but I've seen some mashups where I think it does work. But there's way too much reliance on like pop type music or like hip hop type music or like rap rock shit. I think wrestling really works best to like rock tracks. Like, if you remember a lot of the old like SmackDown entrances, and a lot of the Raw intros and shit like that, the best ones were when it was on like this like fucking mid-90s, early 2000s like butt rock sounding shit. Like, I would never listen to those songs by themselves, but as a backdrop to the like the video packages and shit, like, it just looks and sounds way cooler. So maybe go more in that direction. We'll see what it looks like.
I could say the same thing for that. Like, when WWE's pay-per-view themes back then in the 2002 to 2005 were fucking amazing when they do the video packages for the pay-per-view and it's the official song or whatever. You got the Rob Zombie and the Static X and the Disturbed and the Slipknot and the Marilyn Manson and shit like that. Way better fucking stuff than that Limp Bizkit back then. Obviously, the most hyped one that everybody talks about all the time is Rockin' Stone Cold with Limp Bizkit, which is one of the coolest things.
And again, that's a song I would never listen to by itself. But for some reason, as a backdrop to a wrestling video, it just works.
Yeah. So then, and then of course, in AEW, my favorite one is obviously Cinderella with Adam Page and Kenny Omega. Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone, even though it's a slower song and it's a ballad by Cinderella, it still worked and it was awesome. So even for intros, like Across the Nation by, oh shit, I forgot their name now. But Across the Nation, which is my favorite Raw intro of all time. Damn, I forgot the name of the band now. Oh, I'm so pissed. A lot of people like the Papa Roach To Be Loved song. I don't like that as a intro as much, but who's the Across the Nation band? Do you remember?
The Union Underground.
Yeah, Union Underground. That's right. Okay. And I actually did start listening to them because of that, honestly, because I was like, well, I wonder if they have anything else. But anyway, that's my favorite intro is Union Underground's Across the Nation. But then, of course, you had on SmackDown, you had the Disturbed. I mean, not Disturbed. Drowning Pool. They had a Johnny Pool intro. They had a Marilyn Manson intro. Beautiful People used to be the intro for that. They had a Rob Zombie song used to be the intro for SmackDown at one point. Yeah, I agree totally that those songs work better. Speaking of backdrop songs, what do you think of Tony Khan using the old NBC NBA shit for the best of seven stuff?
It was pretty funny. Also, it worked really well when they started treating it like a sports broadcast. Every time Excalibur would flip onto like sportscaster mode every time he started talking about it. And also on Being the Elite, you had the Daniel Garcia with Private Party doing their little recaps and like the prediction show and whatever the fuck. I thought it was really funny. It worked really well. I don't know how long he has rights to that, but it'd be interesting if they just do that for every best of seven series, like going forward.
Or
they might do that.
Best of any series, yeah. Best of 3, best of 5, best of 7. I think that would be hilarious if they used that all the time too.